Okay, so I sent a blank timeline, and you're going to fill it out about your life. Now, the timeline has to start with your birth, always with your birth. And your timeline it's got boxes, and then it's got a long strip with some arrows. And I tried to copy that, but you know how well Mrs. Toon draws, right? So I tried to copy it. And what you're going to do is where the arrows are, where these things are, you're going to put the year where it happened. Or if you remember the date, okay? So I started with my birth. Yes, I'm very old. And then so I drew a picture, okay? So all you need to do is write what's happening. You don't need to write a full sentence, and draw a picture of it and color it. Always color. Then the next one, you're going to draw something else that happened. Okay, so I picked my first day of school happened in 1972. And then I would draw a picture of me in my little Catholic school uniform and color it, right? Then I picked my first communion. Well, you guys haven't made your first communion yet, so you're going to have to pick other things. Okay, so I'm doing my life. So that happened in 1974. I was in second grade. So I would draw a picture of my first communion. Then 1976, this isn't a happy one, but it is part of my timeline. It's when my grandma died. It was the first major death in my family that I knew. You know, my grandma was with us all the time. My grandma and pop would always come over, and it was very sad. So that happened when I was 10 years old. So I wouldn't draw a picture of my grandma dying, but I might draw flowers, rainbows, things that she liked, okay? But that is also part of your life, right? It's not always good times. There can be some bad times in there too. Then I picked when I got my driver's license, 1982. I got my driver's license. I was 16. So I would draw a car there or something like that, okay? So this is me. Don't copy me. The only thing you can copy is starting with your birth, because it has to start with your birth. And you were not born in 1966. So please do not copy me. Do your own life, okay? If you are confused on times, guess what? Your parents are there and they can help you, right? They can help you with some things. So I wrote some ideas down and I just smudged one. So always start with the birth, right? You can start with when you lost your first tooth. You can started school for the first time. Oh, I wrote first day of school over here too. When did you learn how to ride a bike? When did you, Tristan can write, he broke his arm, right? Or his hand, right? Or maybe you got bit by a dog, or maybe you had surgery. Maybe you had an appendicitis. I also had that, but I was a lot older. Maybe you, you had to stay in the hospital overnight, something like that. Maybe you got a new sibling, okay? That also affects your life. Maybe you moved into a new house, or first day of school, when you started playing sports, or started dance class, or started martial arts, when you learned to tie your shoe for the first time, all kinds of things. So think about it. Write it down on a piece of paper before you put it on your timeline. Map it out on a piece of paper before you put it on your timeline. And then when you're like, yeah, this looks good. I like this part of my life. I like that, how my life looks here. Then go ahead and put it on your timeline. Make sure you color all the pictures that you draw and have fun with it. Have fun with it. Talk about the good times with your parents. Maybe they have pictures of these things and you can see the pictures. Go through photo albums. You know, that's always fun. Okay, so that's your timeline. And that's due on the 18th, which I believe is Monday. It's Tuesday, then it's due Tuesday. It's due next week, okay? It's due when you get it done. Just make sure it's done by the end of the month. So then for science, you will need page 153 in your science book. We are not doing the experiment because we're going to be learning about all different kinds of animals, and then you'll be doing something with whatever type of animal you want to do it with, whatever type of habitat. So we just learned about water habitats, and then of course the next lesson we're going to learn about land habitats and the animals and plants. So we'll need to do 153, okay, and you need to answer or write a sentence for each bulleted item. Okay, so it says, why do some plants and animals only live in ponds, in river deltas, or in tide pools? Be sure to describe where plants and animals live, describe how they get what they need, and compare one plant or animal from habitats found in ponds, rivers, deltas, and tide pools. So, they live in different places to find different foods, right? So you'll have to read through again to find these answers. Okay, to find the answers, because you're going to need to write specific examples for the last one. Compare one plant or one animal from habitats found in ponds, river deltas, and tide pools. So you'll need to pick a plant or animal found in each one of those types of water habitats and tell me about it, okay, how they're different. Okay, and then you're going to do the self-check on these 2 pages, okay, and make sure, just read the chapter again. And again, if you're reading, put it on your reading log, okay? We're still giving out points for reading log. And I'm going to work with Mrs. McCune next year, and hopefully when 2nd grade does their reading day, the reading fun day, remember I told you about that? If you did your reading log every month, and we'd have a huge fun day, and we do it every year. Well, unfortunately, we can't do it this year, but we have a record of who's doing what, and I was going to work it out with Mrs. McCune so that those that continued reading and kept reading their reading logs up, they'll be able to join us next year. I'm going to ask her if we can do that, and I'm sure she'll say yes. So, so go ahead, read the chapter again. If you have a problem with 153, email me. I can meet with you on Zoom on how to do it. It's just, you're going to have to write a lot more than just one sentence, okay? So, I believe that's it. That's it for the day. We're done for the day. Oh my gosh, it went so fast. Okay, we'll see you later. Have a great day and stay safe.